All right, welcome back everyone. It's been a while. This is a video blog of around the golf I played at Verrado Golf Club in Buckeye, Arizona. This is a really nice course, super pretty. We don't get to play it that often because it's about 40 minutes from where I am in Phoenix, but at least once a year we try to make it out here. One of the things I like about it, in addition to the really nice views of the White Tank Mountains in Buckeye, Arizona, is a really nice practice area. And on today we caught it where there were not a lot of people. So um, a really nice day to play. So let's get right to it. These photos and little flyovers actually come from the Verrado Golf Club app. So that's another nice little feature they have. The first hole is a pretty straightforward par 4. There's a little water that you have to carry with your tee shot, just in case you're a little nervous off the first hole. But today, hit a good one, and so I was in decent position on the fairway, about 120 out. The wind was coming in pretty strong from the left, so I aimed a little left, tried to bring it back. I tugged it a little bit though, and so I was pretty fortunate to get a piece of the green there. This was about 30 feet. Misread the putt, thought it was going left to right or back to front on the green, but it actually went left. And so I had about 6 feet to save par on the first hole, which I was able to convert. Par on the first is never a bad start for me. The second hole is where things get interesting. You can see on the left is all dead, and then the fairway also cuts off at about 240 yards depending on what tees you're using. You could go right, but there's also a bunker and some trouble there, so the smarter play is to kind of lay up with a less than driver. I thought I had maybe hooked this one too much, but it ended up being okay. I was just off the fairway to the left here. That gully definitely comes into play on the second shot as well. About 125 yards here, and I had to carry that. Also tugged this one a little bit too, but I ended up safely on the green, and you can never complain about a green in regulation. Now this is a really downhill putt, supposed to be super fast, but as you can see the greens are a little bit bumpy. They had punched about a couple of weeks ago, so I left that one quite a bit short. And now for par, yeah, that was just a bad putt. Um, so a 3-putt bogey. My first 3-putt on the day, and as you'll see, it definitely was not my last. Now the third hole is the first of a bunch of really cool par 3s that they have on this course. This one is really downhill, and it looks back towards the Phoenix Valley. From my tees, it was 172. The wind was coming in too, so I thought an 8-iron would just about cancel out the wind and the elevation drop, but this one went really deep. And when I got to the green, I had about 60 feet, quote-unquote birdie putt. You'll see here too, this was also supposed to be a pretty downhill putt, but yeah, that wasn't even close. So I had about 15, 18 feet for par.
Oh,
And the nice couple who let me play through thought I had made that, but
getting used to the speed right now. Yeah.
yeah, so 2 3-putt bogeys in a row.
Thanks.
The fourth is a pretty tough par 4. Usually it plays into a pretty strong breeze. It's about 420 yards. Bunkers come in right where the landing area is. And even if you manage to avoid those, you have a pretty long shot, usually a mid-iron in for your second. But today I caught a pretty good drive. One of my better drives of the day, actually. So I had about 140 yards for my second. You can notice the fairways here. They were really pure. As bumpy as the greens were, the fairways were just awesome. But yeah, hit a little 9-iron. Tried to knock it down a little bit, but caught all of it. And I had about 25 feet above the hole for birdie now. Now, I didn't want to leave this one short, and I ended up hitting it about 6 feet past. And now coming back to try to save par and avoid another 3-putt, and I just tugged that one as well. So 3 3-putts in a row. Definitely not a good start on the greens. The fifth is the first par 5 on the front. All the par 5s here kind of have a little different character to them. This one isn't too tight off the tee, but the layup is kind of tricky. You can see the fairway narrows, and then there's a bunker right where you would typically lay up. So pretty important to get your tee shot in play, which I did not. And that was just tugged straight left. and no amount of English was going to save that. In fact, I ended up in one of those bushes up there, so I took an unplayable, dropped it backwards from line of sight from the pin, and laid up. Kind of leaked a little bit right of where I wanted. And so when I got up to what is now my fourth shot, I was still in the rough, about 115 yards out. And this one also leaked a little bit right on me. Got up to the green. I was just off the green a little bit. Now already playing my fifth, just trying to get up and down for bogey. And this one was pretty good, to within about 5 feet. And just a little cleanup here. It wobbled a little right, but it did sneak it on the right-hand side. The sixth is a pretty straightforward par 3, pretty much the only one on the course. Although there are still quite a few bunkers that protect the front, and it does play a little bit uphill. So this was a pitching wedge from about 130 yards. Choked up on it a little bit, but I caught it a little thin, and so it came up a little bit short. I was just off the green. And now from just off, we're trying to two-putt to try to save par here. I definitely underread the break there, and the speed wasn't too great either, so I had about 6 feet left to try to save par. Didn't actually get the ball in the shot, but I was able to knock this one in for a par. Now the seventh is the second par 5. Depending on which tees you play, there is a little tree that can come into play with your tee shot, but I was playing from the white tees today. You can see bunkers all along the left here, and right is the desert, so that's no good. And there's also some bunkers in the layup area as well. Not too long from the tees I was playing at today, but I ended up actually in one of those bunkers that juts out into the fairway there. And when I got there, I was almost right up against the lip, so even though I was only about 175 out, I didn't have much choice but to just get it out and play it as a 3-shot hole. Now from about 115 again, caught this one pretty good, but this also started to leak right a little bit, and I was just off the green when I got up to the green. Again, from here, trying to just get down in 2, trying to not leave putt short anymore, and got a little frisky here. Had about just over 6 or 7 feet coming back for par, and so another bogey here. Not technically a 3-putt, but when you're putting from just off the green, you definitely don't want to take 3 to get in. The 8th is probably the hardest hole on the front 9. That little rock face that you see there, you almost have to drive it over there to reach the fairway because the hole kind of bends a little bit to the left. And it's just a little bit shorter than the last hole we played as a par 4. And if you're going to aim over that rock face, you definitely can't hook it or hit it left of that. And so
I guess we will find out.
And what I found out was that it had gone into the penalty area. So I took a drop and now hitting my third from about 180 yards, and this actually was a pretty good shot from where I was. I made it on the green, I'll take that any day. But now again, another long putt, trying to just get down in 2. And with a couple of bobbles, I was about 10 feet short. And now just trying to save bogey and another 3-putt, but we would just slip out. So my fourth 3-putt on the front 9. So when you 3-putt after a penalty stroke, you get 2 over par for a double bogey. The 9th is a cool finishing hole for the front 9. It isn't a long hole, but it's definitely tight off the tee. There's bunkers on both sides, and the fairway definitely narrows and winds away a little bit. The green is protected by the water on the right, although you can use a mounding to the left of the green to kick it closer to the pin if you like. I try to swing soft with the driver here, but I caught it a little bit high on the face, which ended up being fortunate because I also was about to hook it too. Didn't get it very far out, but only about 130 left in now. And I aimed left to protect myself from the water, pushed it a little bit, but it ended up being fine.
Thank you.
So now about 30 feet to try to save par. You can see that water protecting the green that I was talking about. and I got it to within tap-in range, which is pretty good considering how I was putting on the front nine. So overall, 7 over on the front, including 4 3 putts. Hit 5 fairways and 5 greens. So I would hope to do a little bit better than 7 over, but all in all, not too bad. In the next video, I'll show you guys the back nine of this course, which is even prettier than the front. Thanks for watching.